Hello all and welcome to session 10 of Direct Tax 2, 4th semester BCom paper of Mangalore University. So in this session we are going to solve comprehensive problems on income from house property. So let's look at problem number 1. Sunita owns 3 house properties in Mangaluru. The particulars of the houses are as follows. Municipal value for house 1 is 1 lakh, for house 2 is 1 lakh 50 and house 3 is 2 lakh. Fair rental value is 1 lakh 40,000, 1 lakh 80,000 and 2 lakh 40,000. Standard rent is 1 lakh 20,000, 2 lakh and nothing is given for house 3. Actual rent per month is given for house 1 12,000, for house 2 is 17,500 and house 3 is 21,000. Period of vacancy for house 1 it is nil, for house 2 it is 1 month and house 3 it is 6 months. Municipal taxes for the year, it's given 20% of municipal value for house 1, 40,000 for house 2 and 50,000 for house 3. Municipal taxes paid is given. Remember, under section 23 we deduct municipal taxes paid, and municipal taxes pertaining to house 1 paid is 20,000, house 2 is 80,000 and house 3 is 30,000 rupees. Now the question, compute the income under the head house property for all the properties. So we will solve this particular problem. So I record over here solution. I write computation of taxable income from house property. Computation of taxable income from house property. So what we will do is, we will prepare 3 amount columns, each column for a particular house. So I will prepare 3 amount columns, house 1, house 2 and house 3. So I will record over here. This is house 1, house 2 and house 3. House 1, house 2 and house 3. Let's look at house 1. Now, ready numbers for gross annual values are not given, but we will calculate. As far as house 1 is concerned, let's do it just through calculation. Municipal value, fair rental value. Municipal value is 1 lakh, fair rental value is 1 lakh 40,000. So among the two, whichever is higher. So 1 lakh 40,000 is higher. That will be compared with standard rent. That is 1 lakh 20,000. So 1 lakh 40,000 or 1 lakh 20,000. Among the two, whichever is lower. So lower is 1 lakh 20,000 and this 1 lakh 20,000 becomes expected rent. Then we are given with actual rent per month 12,000. There is no vacancy for house 1. So 12,000 is rent per month into 12. That will give you 1 lakh 44,000. So expected rent is 1 lakh 20,000. Actual rent received is 1 lakh 44,000. Among the two, whichever is higher. So the gross annual value for house 1 would be 1 lakh 44,000. So gross annual value for house 1 would be 1 lakh 44,000. That is rent 12,000 into 12. There is no vacancy at all. Similarly, let's look at house 2. Municipal value is 1 lakh 50,000. Fair rent is 1 lakh 80,000. I think we will take a note for this. Say GAV of house 2. GAV of house 2. Say we have municipal value, you can take annual municipal value, which is 1 lakh 50,000. Compare that with fair rent. Fair rent is given for house 2 1 lakh 80,000. Among the two, whichever is more, so we get 1 lakh 80,000 is more. Compare that with standard rent. Standard rent is given for house 2 which is around 2 lakh rupees. So among the two, whichever is lower, so 1,80,000 is lower. So 1,80,000 becomes expected rent. This will be compared with actual rent received. Now it's very clearly given. Actual rent is per month 17,500 into how much is given? There is a vacancy for 1 month. That means rent is received for 11 months. So for 10 months it is 1,75,000 plus 17,000, 1,75,000, 1,82,000, 1,92,500. So for 11 months it would be 1,92,500. So 1,75,000, 1,75,000, 1,82,000, 1,92,500. So among the two, whichever is more, we get 1,92,000 is more. Therefore, GAV of house 2, I am recording 2, number is 1,92,500. So I record over here 1,92,500 is the gross annual value of house 2. Let's look at house 3 now. So I take another note, say GAV of house 3. GAV of house 3. What is given? Municipal value is given, which is 2 lakh rupees. Then you are given with fair rent, which is around 2,40,000. Among the two, whichever is more. So 2,40,000 is more. There is no mention of standard rent at all. So I just put a dash. There is no question of this being lower. So 2,40,000 itself will become expected rent. There is no standard rent given. So you cannot write nil. You just put a dash because it's not given. So 2,40,000 is expected rent. Then actual rent received. Actual rent received, what is given? Actual rent is 21,000 per month is given. 21,000 per month. And the period of vacancy is 6 months. Period of vacancy is 6 months. So 21,000 into 6 would be 1,26,000. Would be 1,26,000. So, yeah, 1,26,000. And we know very clearly among the two, whichever is more, 2,40,000 is more. Now the question arises, do we have to go through the fourth step? We need to check whether two conditions are fulfilled. Expected rent becomes GAV. First condition is fulfilled, and also there is a vacancy loss. There is a vacancy for 6 months. So definitely we go to the fourth step. And in the fourth step, the rule is simple. We take expected rent minus vacancy loss. Expected rent minus vacancy loss. So expected rent is 2,40,000 as we have, minus vacancy loss. See, 6 months the house was vacant, 6 months the rent was received. So vacancy loss is exactly 1,26,000. Part of the year for which rent was not received. So this amount will work out to 1,14,000. 1,14,000, and that will be compared with actual rent received. Actual rent received. And actual rent received is 1,26,000. Among the two, whichever is more. We know that 1,26,000 is more. Therefore, GAV of house 3 would be 1,26,000. So GAV of house 3 would be 1,26,000. So I record over here 1,26,000. Then we take less deduction under section 23. Deduction under section 23, that is municipal tax paid. Now in this problem there are two terms given. One is municipal taxes for the year is given, and second part is municipal taxes paid. Under section 23, we claim deduction for municipal taxes paid. For house 1, municipal tax paid is 20,000. For house 2, it is 80,000. And for house 3, it is 30,000. So we deduct. When we deduct, we get net annual value. So net annual value of house 1 would be 1,24,000. For house 2, it will be 1,12,500, and house 3 would be 96,000. So these are the net annual value, NAV. Then we go to less deduction under section 24. Under section 24, if we have interest on housing loan, there will be 2 deductions. So standard deduction at 30% of NAV. 30% of NAV. 30% of 1,24,000. So 12, 12, 12, 36, 37,200. 37,200. House 3, 96,000 into 30%. So 9,600 into 3. That would be 28,800. 28,800. Now in this problem, there is no mention of housing loan interest at all. So only one deduction we have. So what we will do is we will deduct. From 1,24,000, deduct 37,200. We will get 10 minus 2 is 8, 13 minus 7 is 6, 11 minus 3 is 8. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 1,17,000, 1,23,000, 1,24,000. Okay. Then we'll have 1,12,500 minus 750. So this will be 0. This would be 5. 14 minus 7 is 7. 11 minus 3 is 8. And 10 minus 3 is 7. So 78,000. 1 lakh, 1 lakh 8, 1 lakh 11, 1 lakh 12,500. Then from here 96,000. 10 minus 8 is 2. 5 minus 15 minus 8 is 7. So 60. So 67,200. So therefore, these are the incomes now. 86,800, 78,750 and 67,200. So put together, therefore, taxable income from house property. Taxable income from house property will be adding up all these numbers. That is 86,800 plus 78,750 plus 67,200. So that number would be 80, 150, 80, 150, 2 lakh 10, 2 lakh 17, 2 lakh 25, 2 lakh 31, 2 lakh 32, 550, 2 lakh 32, 750, 2 lakh 32,750 will be taxable income from house property. So this is about problem number 1. So let's look at the second problem. Dr. James owns a big house having 3 independent units. Unit 1, 50% of the floor area is let out for residential purpose. So there is, let's assume a big house, 50% of the portion is let out at a monthly on a monthly rent of rupees 8,200. So 8,200 per month is the rent. It remains vacant for 1 month. That means rent is received for 11 months only. 1 month vacant, when it is not put to any use. A sum of rupees 700 could not be recovered from the tenant. There is no mention that conditions, rule 4 conditions are fulfilled. We'll come to that point. Then we have unit 2. This is unit 1. Then we have unit 2. Unit 2. 25% of this particular area. 25% of the floor area is used by James for his own profession. So when the assessee is using either the entire property or part of the property for his own business or profession, we don't include it under the concept of house property at all. Then we have unit 3, which is again 25% of the area, and this 25% is utilized for his own residence. So this is own residence, that is, you can call it as a self-occupied portion, own residence. Other particulars of the house are as follows. Municipal valuation is 60,000, fair rent is 70,000, standard rent as per Rent Control Act is 90,000, municipal taxes 15,000, we assume it's paid, repairs is 4,000 rupees, interest on capital borrowed for renewal of a property 36,000, it is just like interest on housing loan. Then ground rent is 6,400, it has no relevance. Then annual charge created under the will by father in favor of Mrs. James, rupees 9,000, and fire insurance premium paid rupees 15,000. None of these items have relevance in solving the problem. So the question is, determine his taxable income from house property. So we take solution. I record computation of taxable income from house property. Computation of taxable income from house property. So I'll just prepare two amount columns. Two amount columns we will take. So first I am going to talk about unit 1. Unit 1, this is let out portion. Let out portion, which is 50% of the floor area. So let's look at that. What is given? Municipal value is given. We can calculate the GAV of that particular portion. So I can write a note, GAV of let out portion. GAV of let out portion. We have municipal value. Municipal value given is 60,000. We need to take 50% of that because only 50% portion is let out. So that is around 30,000. That is compared with fair rent. Now fair rent given in the problem is 70,000. So we take 50% of that because only 50% is let out. So 35,000. So among the two, whichever is more. So 35,000 is more. Then we have rent as per Rent Control Act. That is called as standard rent. And standard rent given in the problem is 90,000. We take 50% of that. So that would be 45,000. And among the two, whichever is lower. Whichever is lower. So 35,000 is lower, and this 35,000 is expected rent. Is expected rent. Then we compare that with actual rent received. Actual rent received, the 50% portion is let out at a rent of 8,200 is given. So this is let out at 8,200. We don't have to do 50% of that 8,000 because that 50% portion is let out at 8,200. So there is vacancy for 1 month as given in the problem. So this would be 82,000 plus 8,200. So that will be 90,200. So 82,000 for 10 months plus 8,200. So 82 plus 8 is 90,200. And among the two, whichever is more. That is 90,200 is more. Therefore, the gross annual value is 90,200 for that let out portion. So I can record over here gross annual value. Gross annual value of that let out portion is 90,200. Then as usual, I can claim deduction under section 23. Deduction under section 23 we have municipal tax paid. Municipal tax paid. Now what is given? Municipal tax paid during the year. Municipal taxes is 15,000 is given. So I take 15,000 into 50%. Excuse me. So 7,500 is the value. So I deduct 12 minus 5 is 7. 9 minus 7 is 2. So this would be 82,700. 82,700 will become net annual value. Net annual value. From the net annual value, we have two deductions. Deduction under section 24. So the first one that we have is standard deduction at 30% of NAV. So standard deduction at 30% of NAV, which would be 82,700 into 30%. So that would be 8270 into 3. 8,270 into 3. 1, 2, 8. 24,810. So 8 is a 24, 600, 700, 810. So 24,810 is the standard deduction. Then we have interest on loan, that is interest on capital borrowed, which is given in the problem. Interest on capital borrowed in total is given 36,000. And since we are talking about letting out only 50% of the portion, so we take 50%. So this would be 18,000, half of 36,000. So total amount deductible under section 24 would be 24, 32, 42,810. So 42,810 will be deductible. So here we get 0, 9, 8, 11 minus 2 is 9, so 3, 30, 70, 79, 80, 81, 82,600, 82,700. So 39,890 will be the income from the let out portion. The second part that is we will take is unit 2. Now what is given as per unit 2? Unit 2, 25% of the floor area is used by James for the purpose of his own profession. So I record over here own profession. Own profession 25%. So if the SSC is using either the entire property or part of the property for his own profession, it does not form a part of house property at all. Next is unit 3. Unit 3. What is given pertaining to unit 3? While unit 3 remaining 25% is utilized for the purpose of his residence. So this is self-occupied portion. Self-occupied portion, and this is also 25%. And we know very clearly annual value of self-occupied portion is always nil. Annual value of self-occupied portion is always nil. And we have only one deduction from self-occupied portion or self-occupied part. So, and that is interest on housing loan. Interest on housing loan. We have just one deduction. So, interest on capital borrowed, same, 36,000 is the amount, and this was 50%, this is only 25%. So, 25% of 36,000 is 9,000. So 0, nil minus 9,000 will give you a negative value of 9,000. I am putting that number in bracket. So 9,000. So therefore, taxable income from house property. Taxable income from house property would be plus 39,890 minus 9,000. So that would be 30,890. So let's look at it quickly. let out portion is 50%, 8,200 per month is the rent, and it is vacant for 1 month, so 11 months it is 9,200. We calculate 9,200 as the gross annual value. Then municipal tax paid is 15,000. Only 50% will be considered, which is 7,500. So when you deduct, net annual value is 82,700. Then we have, as usual, standard deduction at 30% of NAV. 82,700 into 30% works out to 24,810. Then we have interest on capital borrowed, which is nothing but interest on loan, and given value is 36,000. 50% of that, since 50% is let out portion, 18,000. So total amount deductible is 42,810. So we get a positive income from let out portion, which is 39,890. Unit 2, 25% used for own business or profession, does not form a part of house property income at all. Unit 3, self-occupied portion, which is 25%. So annual value of a self-occupied portion is always nil. And interest on housing loan, borrowed capital is 36,000. 25% is self-occupied part, 9,000. So 0 minus 9,000 will give you minus 9,000. So plus 39,890 minus 9,000 would give you 30,890 taxable income from house property. Now in this particular problem, there is a mention of a point, a sum of rupees 700 could not be recovered from the tenant. But nowhere in the problem it's given that rule 4 conditions are fulfilled. If this were given, then we would have adjusted out of the actual rent received. We would have deducted around the amount 700 from that particular value. Next we are given with the ground rent, which is 6,400. Ground rent is not separately deductible. It is covered under standard deduction itself. Then annual charge created by under the will by the father in favor of Mrs. Jane, that also does not form a part of deduction anywhere. And fire insurance premium paid, which is covered in the standard deduction itself, not separately deductible. So this is about this problem of Dr. James, where 50% portion is let out, 25% is used for own profession, 25% is self-occupied portion. I hope this problem is clear. Thank you.